Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to make the shirt that you have seen at the beginning of the video. So for the materials you will need yarn. The yarn that I'm using is Robin. It's 100% acrylic and it's a lightweight yarn. It's a fingering weight yarn, and as you can see the strand is very thin. So the hook that I'll be using for this project is a 3mm crochet hook, a measuring tape, and then a darning needle, as well as a pair of scissors. I don't have my scissors with me right now, but I'll get them later on. So those are the materials that you will need for this project. So this, you can decide whether you want a plain colored shirt or a striped shirt. If you want a striped shirt, make sure you have 4 balls, 2 of each color. And the other thing that I have to point out is each ball is 300 yards. So basically four balls will give us a total of about 1,200 yards for the whole project, roughly 1,200 yards. So if you're buying your yarn, make sure you select it well. And also I'm using a 3mm crochet hook, so I'm on the thinner side so that I can get a mesh pattern that feels like a cloth. So let's jump right into the video. This piece will be worked in panels. We have the back panel, 2 front panels, and then 2 sleeves. So I will start off with the back panel. So let's get started. We are starting off with an odd number of chains, any odd number of chains, and this chain should be the length of the shirt that you want for yourself, all the way from the top of your shoulder down to where you want the shirt to stop. So for me, I am going to make a total of 165 chains for my starting chain, but you can go ahead and make whatever number of chains that you need for your shirt. I want mine to be a little bit long, so I'll start off with a total of 165 chains. So for the sake of demonstration, I'll start off with 51 chains, because 165 chains won't be covered on this frame totally. So I'll start off with a total of 51 chains for the demonstration of a stitch. So after your odd number of chains, you're going to go into the 5th chain from the hook with a double crochet. So a double crochet is, after a double crochet here, you're going to make a chain of 1, skip 1 chain, yarn over, and double crochet into the next chain. So skip 1 chain, double crochet into the next. This is going to end up creating a mesh pattern for us for our shirt. So we're going to continue doing this. You make a chain of 1, skip 1 chain, and double crochet into the next chain. And you can see what that is creating. It's creating a very neat mesh pattern. So continue to do that all the way across until you come towards the end of your row, and I'll show you what to do towards the end. So we are starting off with the back panel, and then later on we shall go onto the front panels of the shirt. Alright, so we're coming to the end of the row, and I am still working my mesh pattern until I have a total of 2 chains left. I will make a chain of 1, skip the second last chain, and place a double crochet into the very last chain. And that marks the end of row 1. You should have this beautiful mesh pattern. So we're going on to row 2. Row 2 is also going to be made of the mesh pattern, but this time we're going to go into the stitches, not the chains. So you're going to make a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet chain 1, turn your work, and then skip the chain space and double crochet into the next double crochet. So we're going into the stitches, not the chain one spaces. Chain one, skip the next chain space and double crochet into the next stitch. Alright, so you're going to continue with the mesh pattern until towards the end of the row, and I'll show you how to wind up row 2. But that should be half your bust measurement. So we are coming to the end of row 2. And when you come to the end, you're going to make a chain of 1, skip over 1 chain and double crochet into the next chain. Half of your bust measurement. So this is how your row 2 will look like. So we're just going to repeat row 2 again and again until we have a good length or a good width. Actually, the length is this. So until you have the width of the shirt that you want. For me, I'll be mentioning the number of rows that I'll do for my back panel without stretching it. So make sure that your work is not stretched. Don't measure your panel while stretching it. Just measure across until you have your panel, and then I'll meet you back when I have mine ready. Alright guys, so for the back panel I did a total of 48 rows, and that gave me approximately half my bust measurement. So the bust measurement that I'm considering for this design is 40 inches, and as you can see, when I measure across, I have approximately 20 inches across. So keep working until your panel measures roughly half your bust measurement. So for the length, as I had mentioned earlier on, I have a total of about 32 inches for the length of the shirt. And then when it comes to the measurement across, I have half the bust measurement of my client, which is 20 inches, because her total bust circumference is 40 inches. Now, once you get that, you're going to put the back panel away, and we're going to start working on the front panel. Alright, so for the front panel, we're going to do the same exact process, the same exact instructions as the back panel, but we're going to be working 2 front panels. So you're going to get the number of rows that you have for the back panel, which is 48 rows, and then divide it by 2. And I have a total of 24 rows. That means we're considering this number for one of the front panels. Now you're going to subtract 5 rows from the 24 rows, and you're going to get a total of 19. So that 19 is the number of rows that you're going to do for the very first front panel, as well as the second front panel, which we shall see later on. So the number of rows for the back panel, divide by 2 minus 5. So you're going to get 19. So that's the number of rows that I'm going to do for my very first front panel. And the 5 that I'm subtracting from the 24 is the number of rows that we're going to use for the shaping of the v-neck of the front panel. So once you get your 19 rows, or whatever number that you have here, you're going to start doing some decreases on one side of the front panel. So let me show you how to do that. Alright, so when you get done with your 19 rows, we are going to start shaping the v-neck. So after your last stitch here, we're going to create that slanting effect for the next 5 rows. So far I have 19 rows, and my aim is to have a total of 24 rows. So that means I'm going to do 5 decrease rows to create the v-neck shaping. So once I get my 19 rows, I'm going to make a chain of 1, turn my work, single crochet in the very first stitch, chain 1, single crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the next double crochet, just like that. And then we are going to go back to chain 1, double crochet into the next double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the next double crochet, and continue working the mesh pattern all the way to the end of the row. Alright, so we're coming to the end of the row, and I am still creating the mesh pattern. Chain 1, skip 1 chain, and double crochet into the next chain. So that's the end of the very first row of decreases, and the decrease is only on this side. So for the next row, you're going to make a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet, chain 1, and then continue with the mesh pattern as usual all the way up until you have a total of 4 double crochets left on your row, and I'll show you what to do. Alright, now we're coming to the end of the second row of decreases, and these are single crochet stitches, as we can see here. And I told you until we have a total of 4 double crochets left on our row. So we have this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So we have a total of 1, 2, 3, and 4 double crochets. So after this double crochet, before the 4 double crochets, you're going to make a chain of 1 and go into the 4th double crochet with 1 single crochet, and that marks the end of the second row of decreases. So the third row of decreases, you're going to make a chain of 1 and turn your work, and you're going to go into the very first double crochet of the row. So this is a single crochet. You're going to go into this double crochet with 1 single crochet and we want a total of 3 single crochets. So this is 1, chain 1, another single crochet, chain 1, and another single crochet. So that's a total of 3 single crochets. Then from here you're going to make a chain of 1, double crochet into the next double crochet. So we've gone back to the mesh pattern of double crochet stitches. Chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the next double crochet, and do that all the way across until the end of the row. Don't forget, at the end of the row we are maintaining that flat edge at the base of the t-shirt. So just work all the way across and wind up your row as usual. Alright, so come to the end of the third row of decreases, and this is what the v-neck shaping looks like. So we're going to repeat rows 2 and 3 one more time in order to get a total of 5 rows for the v-neck shaping. So repeat rows 2, what you did for row 2 and for row 3, so that we have a total of 5 rows of decreases. So I've come to the end of the 5th row of decreases, and you should end on this flat edge, the side that has a flat edge. And then when it comes to the decrease side that creates the v-neck, this is what we have. So we're now going to create a boundary row across this edge, the side that has the v-neck shaping. So after the 5th row of decreases, you're going to make a chain of 3 and turn your work, and this chain of 3 counts as a stitch. We're going to go into the chain 1 space with 1 double crochet, and then 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and 1 double crochet into the chain 1 space. So we're going into every stitch and every chain one space with 1 double crochet just to create a block row along that edge. Continue to do that all the way across until you get to this side. Don't forget to place a double crochet in the chain one spaces between the single crochet stitches. Don't miss them. So this is what it will create. You're going to go all the way from here to the very first single crochet of this side, the v-neck shaping here. Alright, so I went all the way across, as you can see, and this gave me a clean edge when it comes to this part, as you can see. So this is my v-neck shaping, and then this is the flat edge. And when you place a double crochet in the very last single crochet, you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. Now we are going to repeat the same exact process for the second front panel and do the v-neck shaping as well until the very last row of the v-neck shaping, which is supposed to be the 5th row, and then I'll show you what to do for the final row, because we want to work the right side on the same side for both panels. So once you finish the 5th row of decreases, I'm going to be showing you how to work the final row. This block row on the second panel is going to be quite different. Alright, so this is my very first front panel, and I am done with the 5th row of decreases on my second panel, as you can see here. So once you get done here, you're going to make a chain of 1, cut your yarn, and you're going to attach your yarn in the very first single crochet on top of the v-neck shaping. You're going to attach your yarn into that single crochet, and then make a chain of 3 and place a double crochet into each chain one space and into each stitch. So this is going to help us have a clean edge on both ends, as you can see here. So if we had done the same exact instructions for the second panel, that means the final row of this piece would be on the wrong side. But now we are going to have both the final rows on the right side, as you can see here. So this one is like this, and this one comes from up to down. So continue all the way down, and when you get here, place your double crochet into the last double crochet and chain 1 and cut your yarn. Alright, now that we are through with the front panels, we are going to introduce our back panel. I have my back panel at the base of the front panel, and I'm going to make sure that I'm joining on the wrong side. So I'm going to flip over my work like this, and I'm going to skip a total of 20 boxes. So I'm going to count from here just to leave provision for the sleeves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So this is how wide my sleeve is going to be. So into the 21st, I'll mark that and then count the same number of boxes on this side. So we are joining the flat edge of the front panel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And this is the 21st. So I'm going to start joining from the 21st box all the way down. So this is going to be how wide my sleeve is. So a total of 40 boxes, 20 on this side and 20 on the other side. So I'm going to turn my work so that I work all the way down to the base of the t-shirt. You can leave more boxes if you want your sleeves to be bigger. I feel like this is still small. Maybe I can try 25 boxes. Let me try that and see how it will work out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Alright, so instead of 20, I'll leave a total of 25 boxes. Just to make my sleeve a little bit bigger. I don't want a body hugging sleeve. So I'm going to join all the way down to the base of the t-shirt using single crochet stitches. So what I'm going to do is placing 2 single crochets in each and every box all the way down. So 2 single crochets in each box until the base of the t-shirt. Make sure you're working on the wrong side of your piece. Alright, so when you make it to the base of the t-shirt, you're going to make a chain of 1 and you're going to cut your yarn. You're going to introduce your second front panel and join it to the opposite side. Alright, you're going to introduce your second panel and mark the 25th space or the same number of spaces that you left on the other side. And you're going to start attaching the same exact way that we've done our first panel. Alright, now that we have attached both the front panels onto the back panel, we're going to turn our work onto the wrong side and we're going to attach the shoulder part all the way to the v-neck. So what we're going to do is start from the outer edge and join the 2 panels using two single crochets in each and every row. So go into the first row and the first row on this side on the outer edge, and attach your yarn and place 2 single crochets in each and every row. Make sure you don't skip any row. And make sure you're doing this on the wrong side of your work, because this seam line is going to be very visible, so we want it to be on the wrong side of the t-shirt. So my last row is the one that joins onto the block row of the front panel. After that, you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn, pull through. So this is what we have. The shoulder seam has been made, and you're going to do the same exact thing on the opposite side, starting from the outer edge all the way across until you attach the block row of the front panel. Alright, after joining the shoulder seams, you're going to have some room for your neck. It's going to create like a neck opening, and at this point you can also see the sleeve circumference formed. So you're going to turn your work onto the right side, and you're going to have some sort of like vest. Something like this. And now we are going to create our sleeves, and we are going to attach them here into the sleeve opening that we left behind. Alright, so for the sleeves, we're going to attach our yarn in any double crochet stitch. You're going to just go into any stitch and attach your yarn, and you're going to be working in rounds. So you're going to make a chain of 4, and make sure you're working on the right side of your work, not on the wrong side. So make a chain of 4 and double crochet into the next double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the next double crochet. The chain of 4 at the beginning of the row counts as a double crochet chain 1. So continue to do that all the way around. So we want to maintain the mesh pattern for the sleeves, and we're just going to be working around and around until we get the length of the sleeve that we want for our t-shirt. So chain 1, double crochet into the next double crochet, just like that. So go all the way around, and I'll meet you back at the end of the round here. So when you make it all the way around the sleeve circumference, you'll make a chain of 1 and slip stitch into the third chain of the first chain of the round. Into the third chain, you're going to make a slip stitch, and then you're going to make a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet chain 1. Go into the next double crochet with 1 double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the next double crochet, and you're going to go all the way around, placing a double crochet in each double crochet around the sleeve circumference. And when you come to the end, and make sure you always chain 1 in between the double crochet stitches. When you come to the end, you make a chain of 1 and slip stitch into the third chain of the first chain 4 of the round. And you're going to keep working, and I'll meet you back when I have the sleeve length that I want for my shirt. Alright guys, I ended up doing a total of 30 rounds for the sleeve, and you're going to go ahead and do the same exact process on this side so that you also have a matching sleeve, something identical to what we have on this side. So go ahead and do the same exact process for the second sleeve, and I'll meet you back to show you how to work on the collar part of the t-shirt. Alright, so after the sleeves, we are now going to start working on the collar, and I'm going to move all the way from this side around the midsection of the v-neck shaping. So you can see where the v-neck shaping ended. I'm going to just estimate and see the midsection. Just fold it over like this and get the midsection of the v-neck shaping. And I'm also switching to a 5mm crochet hook and doubling my strand so that I get thicker stitches. So somewhere around here. So I'm going to attach my yarn, and I'm going to go all the way across, placing half double crochet stitches all the way to the midsection of the v-neck shaping on this side as well. So I'm going to make a chain of 1, and I'm going to go into the middle of the stitches. So 1, alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm counting the number of half double crochet stitches on this side so that I balance the same exact number of stitches on the opposite side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So I have 20 half double crochets on this side. Now you're going to turn to the back side of the back panel, and you're going to place 2 half double crochets in each row. 2 in the next row, 2 in the next row, and you're going to repeat this until you get to the second front panel. Alright, so this is what the back side will look like, and then you're going to go on the opposite side, the second front panel, and you're going to place a total of 20 half double crochets just like we have on this side here. So 1, 2, I'm still going in between the stitches, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So I have 20 half double crochets on this side as well. So this is going to be how wide our collar is from this side to this side. So we're going to continue working half double crochet stitches back and forth. To start the row, you're going to make a chain of 1 and half double crochet in each half double crochet across. So just keep working back and forth, placing half double crochet stitches, and I'll let you know how thick my collar will be, how many rows I did for my collar. I'm going to keep working this and I'll be back when I'm done with the thickness of the collar. Alright guys, you're going to go ahead and attach some buttons on one of the sides of the front panels. So I ended up doing a total of 7 rows
yeah,
for
that's
the
basically
collar.
it. In the next video, I'll be showing you how to make the matching pants. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video.
At
Bye.
most 9. So you can do 6, 7, 8, or 9 rows for your collar, depending on the thickness that you want for yourself. So the thickness is 3 inches for mine, and this is what it looks like now.